how many times just this week have you said yes to a favor or a meeting or maybe a dinner while like every single alarm bell in your brain was just screaming no?
Oh, I mean, it's a universally uncomfortable, almost out-of-body experience, right?
Yeah, completely.
You literally hear the word yes leaving your mouth, and instantly your stomach drops. You realize you've just traded away your Saturday morning, or your quiet evening, or just your rapidly dwindling peace of mind, all for something you had absolutely no desire to do.
Right. And that visceral tension is exactly what we are unpacking in today's deep dive. We were looking at this really powerful piece by Tony Pretorius from the She Rises, Stress Less, Shine More series.
It's such a great text.
It really is. And the mission here is to master the absolute art of saying no. We're going to dismantle that suffocating guilt that always seems to follow it and figure out how to reclaim some mental real estate in an aggressively, relentlessly busy world.
And that aggressive busyness is really the core conflict Pretorius identifies right away. I mean, we live in a culture that treats an overflowing calendar as a literal status symbol.
Oh, 100%. It's like a badge of honor.
Exactly. We've adopted this collective operating system that equates saying yes to everything with being successful, being a team player, and maybe most dangerously, being a fundamentally kind person. But the text argues that this easy yes is a complete myth.
Right. It's not enriching our lives or our relationships at all.
No, it's severely diluting them.
We really need to question the foundational reason we overcommit in the first place, though, because it seems to stem from a massive misunderstanding of what it actually means to be kind.
Yeah, we routinely conflate compliance with compassion, and they are not the same thing.
Not at all.
Going along with whatever anyone asks of you isn't necessarily compassionate. Pretorius shares a very personal realization in the text about this.
Oh, the part about the coffee dates and the extra projects.
Yes, there was a time when agreeing to every single coffee date, picking up every extra side project at work, and attending every random social invitation felt like the very definition of being a supportive friend or a dedicated colleague.
But the reality on the ground was entirely different, right? Because agreeing to all of it wasn't being supportive at all. It was spreading oneself so incredibly thin that there was absolutely zero energy left for personal needs.
Let alone the people who truly deeply mattered.
Exactly.
It creates an illusion of presence. You show up physically to the coffee date, but mentally, your battery is just completely dead.
You're just staring through them.
Yeah, you're thinking about the 3 other things you should be doing, or you're just exhausted.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I was thinking about how to visualize this dynamic, and I came up with an analogy.
Oh, I love a good analogy. Lay it on me.
Okay, so think about a perfectly pulled single shot of rich, high-quality espresso.
Okay, I'm with you.
It is potent. It has a distinct purpose. It has that beautiful crema on top. It's meant to be savored. Now, imagine you have a line of 20 people, and you want to be kind, right? You want to share it with all of them.
Oh, I see where this is going.
So you start pouring hot water into that single shot,
Mm.
and you pour, and you pour, until everyone has a cup.
Just watering it all down.
Exactly. Eventually, you aren't serving coffee anymore. You're just handing your friends lukewarm brown water. By trying to serve everyone, you've completely diluted your essence. You think you're being generous, but you're actually giving everyone a terrible experience.
The lukewarm brown water of our social energy, that paints such a vivid and honestly depressing picture.
It really does.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at the invisible engine driving that specific behavior, which is modern hustle culture.
Right. Always on, always available.
Exactly. We are bombarded 24/7 with messaging that resting is lazy, that idle time is wasted time, and that constant availability is a moral virtue.
So we hand out that diluted water because we feel a structural pressure to do so. We're terrified of the empty cup.
Precisely. But here is the hidden structural cost of the easy yes that the source material exposes. When you say yes to something that contradicts your current capacity or your actual needs, you are actively, deliberately saying no to yourself.
Right. It's a zero-sum game.
It is. Every single yes has an equal and opposite no attached to it. It's a stripped economic reality of time and energy. You say yes to organizing that office party you don't care about, you are explicitly saying no to an hour of reading or sleep or just staring at the ceiling.
You're trading your own well-being to avoid a 5-second moment of social awkwardness.
Yep.
Which is wild when you lay it out like that, because logically we know this, right? We know overcommitting dilutes our energy. So why is it so incredibly agonizing to just stop doing it? I mean, it's not a physical inability to form the word no.
No, the barrier is entirely emotional. Guilt is the enforcer of the easy yes.
Yeah.
It operates like a security guard, keeping you locked into this cycle of endless overcommitment.
And Pretorius makes this incredibly bold claim in the text, a claim that I think we all need to write on a Post-it note and stick to our bathroom mirrors. Guilt is a liar.
Guilt is a liar, yes.
We are so terrified of being perceived as selfish or cold or unhelpful that we actually tie our fundamental personal value to our availability.
And this raises an important question. If we are tying our worth to our availability, what happens when we simply aren't available?
Or when we need help ourselves.
Exactly. Our self-esteem just plummets. We feel like we are failing at being a functional human being simply because our calendar isn't completely booked out with favors for other people. The guilt tricks us into believing our only value is utility.
Okay, I hear that, but realistically, isn't sacrifice just part of the deal?
How do you mean?
Like, if I'm a good friend or a truly dedicated colleague, I show up even when I'm running on fumes, don't I? Putting aside your own exhaustion to help someone else is deeply ingrained in us as a noble thing to do.
It is deeply ingrained, and that's exactly the trap the source material identifies. We need a critical paradigm shift here. Okay, Pretorius argues that showing up physically when you are emotionally checked out, burned out, or secretly resentful isn't actually serving anyone. It goes back to your espresso analogy.
Right, serving the brown water.
Have you ever been out to dinner with a friend who clearly doesn't want to be there? They are yawning, they are constantly checking their phone under the table, they are giving one-word answers.
Oof, yeah, we've all been on both sides of that table.
Mm.
It honestly feels so much worse than if they had just canceled.
Right.
You sit there feeling like a burden.
Because true connection is based entirely on the quality of your presence, not the sheer volume of hours you log or the favors you dispense.
That makes a lot of sense.
When you set a boundary and say, I can't do this right now, you might feel like you're letting them down in the short term, but you are actually protecting the relationship in the long term.
Wow, okay.
You are ensuring that you only show up for the people in your life when you have a full heart and a clear head. You're preserving the espresso instead of serving them brown water.
You are protecting the relationship by not letting resentment build up. Because that resentment is toxic.
Extremely toxic.
You agree to help someone move on your only day off, and suddenly you find yourself silently fuming at them every time they hand you a box.
Even though you agreed to be there.
Exactly. But what about their reaction? What if you say no to preserve the relationship and they just get furious?
That is the other vital piece of unmasking this guilt trap. We have to fundamentally accept that we are not responsible for other people's disappointment.
Oh, that's tough to swallow.
It is. But if you deliver a polite, clear no, and someone responds to you with anger, guilt-tripping, or passive aggression, that is a reflection of their unchecked expectations, not a reflection of your character. As the text states, healthy people respect boundaries.
Healthy people respect boundaries. So if someone throws a tantrum because you politely decline a request to protect your own peace, they were probably benefiting heavily from you having no boundaries in the first place.
That is the uncomfortable truth. The source notes that when you start saying no, some people might actually fall away from your life.
Really?
Yeah, because the dynamic of the relationship was entirely predicated on what you could do for them. But losing those relationships clears the space for people who actually value your well-being as much as your utility.
Right. Knowing that guilt is a liar and that we're serving brown water is great in theory. But when your boss corners you in the hallway and asks you to take on a massive new project, or your mother-in-law asks you to host a 20-person holiday dinner.
Right. Real life happens.
Yeah, guilt is a liar doesn't easily translate into a response in that moment. We need to talk about exactly how you deploy the word no in the real world without going into a full-blown panic sweat.
The tactical execution is where all of this psychological theory meets reality.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Pretorius features a quote in this piece from the author Anne Lamott, and it is an absolute game changer. No is a complete sentence.
It is so jarring to hear that at first. Just no. No explanation, no paragraph of context.
It feels almost illegal.
It really does.
The instinct to over-explain is so powerful. But Pretorius has a strict rule here. Do not invent emergencies. Do not make up fake doctor's appointments. Do not weave these complicated, multi-layered excuses about how busy your week is just to get out of something.
And there is a very deep, fascinating psychological reason why those complicated excuses consistently backfire.
Oh.
When you offer a detailed justification saying, oh, I'd love to help you move that couch on Saturday, but I have to take my dog to the vet at noon, and then I have a headache coming on, and my car is acting weird, you inadvertently invite the other person to negotiate your boundary.
Oh, wow. You've given them a puzzle to solve.
Exactly.
They just look at your excuse and say, no problem at all. I can move the couch on Sunday.
Yeah.
Or I can come over after the vet, and I'll even bring some ibuprofen for your headache.
You've given them variables. You've turned your hard boundary into a mere scheduling conflict.
Yep.
And people who want something from you are highly motivated to solve your scheduling conflicts.
That makes perfect sense.
But a firm, simple no, without the laundry list of reasons, reclaims your autonomy completely. There is nothing to negotiate. You aren't offering puzzle pieces. You are closing the box.
I love the idea of closing the box. But how do we get there in the moment? Like if someone catches you off guard on a phone call, That reflex to just blurt out yes before you've even processed the question is so deeply ingrained.
Right, it bypasses our rational brain completely.
Which is why the text offers a highly actionable strategy for those exact moments, right? It's a mechanism called the pause.
Yes, the pause. This is going to be your new best friend.
Okay, tell us about it.
The next time someone asks you for your time, your energy, or your resources, you must train yourself to never, ever answer immediately. You implement the pause by using a default phrase. Let me check my calendar and get back to you.
Let me check my calendar and get back to you.
It's brilliant because it's polite, it's totally professional, and it instantly diffuses the social pressure of the moment.
Yep.
You aren't saying no, which satisfies the people-pleasing reflex, but you are absolutely halting the easy. You are buying yourself time, and there's actually a neurological benefit to this.
Really? Like what?
Well, when you are put on the spot, your amygdala, the part of the brain that handles fear and social survival, flares up. It screams, appease this person or they will reject you.
Oh, wow, the panic response.
Exactly. By saying, let me check my calendar, you cool down that amygdala response. You buy 24 hours to let your prefrontal cortex, the logical, forward planning part of your brain, take the wheel.
That's fascinating.
And during this bot time, you aren't actually looking at your calendar to see if you have a blank square. You are looking internally.
Because just because you have a free hour on a Tuesday evening doesn't mean you owe that hour to whoever asks for it.
Precisely. During that 24 hours, you need to ask yourself 3 critical evaluation questions outlined in the text.
Okay, let's hear them.
Number 1, do I actually want to do this? Number 2, is this helping me reach the goals I've set for this season of my life? And number 3, which might be the most crucial metric of all, does this drain me or fill me up?
Does it drain me or fill me up? That is such a hard question for chronic people pleasers to answer because we are so disconnected from what actually fills us up.
Right, we just don't know anymore.
We are so used to scanning the room to see what everyone else needs that our own internal gauge is completely broken. But if you take that pause and you realize the request is a massive drain, it doesn't align with your goals, and you fundamentally don't want to do it, the answer has to be no.
And if the answer is no, you need a script. Because we know that walking up to someone, looking them in the eye, and just saying the single word no is socially terrifying for most of us.
Right. As much as we revere no as a complete sentence, we might need just a little bit of padding to survive the modern workplace or a family gathering.
Just a little bit.
So we are going to share Pretorius's perfect professional script from the text. It's something you can use via email, text, or face-to-face. Ready?
Let's hear it.
Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I'm not able to take that on right now.
It is bulletproof.
Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I'm not able to take that on right now. It is polite, it is firm, and most importantly, it is incredibly final.
There are no loose ends.
No fake vet appointments to follow up on next week. You don't say, maybe next month.
It honors the other person by thanking them for the consideration, but it unequivocally protects your space.
So we have the mechanics. We have the pause to cool down our panic response. We have the 3 evaluation questions, and we have the bulletproof script. Let's look at the long game. What actually happens in the space that this new no creates?
First, we have to acknowledge that the newly created space might initially feel intensely uncomfortable.
Yeah, I bet.
The text reassures us that the initial prickle of guilt you feel when you send that email or use that script is completely normal. Pretorius uses a great concept here, comparing the process to building muscle. But to clarify how that works, the guilt itself isn't the muscle.
How should we visualize it then?
Setting the boundary is the workout. It's the heavy lifting. The guilt you feel afterward is like delayed onset muscle soreness. Oh, that makes so much sense.
Right. When you first start lifting weights, your muscles ache the next day. It feels awkward, you feel weak, you might even think you injured yourself. But that soreness is just weakness leaving the body. It's the feeling of new muscle fibers being built.
That is a great way to frame it.
Setting boundaries is exactly the same. You will feel that soreness, that guilt at first, but you can acknowledge it, look right at it, and tell yourself, I am allowed to protect my peace. This is just the soreness of getting stronger.
And over time, the guilt fades.
Exactly. The guilt fades, and the formidable strength to protect your time remains.
So what does this all mean? We push through the soreness, we reclaim our time, we stop pouring water into the espresso.
Right.
The text asks a profoundly challenging question that I want you to really reflect on. If you spend half as much time nurturing your own dreams as you do fulfilling the random, disconnected requests of others, where would you be in a year? Or in 5 years? What's fascinating here is that the source material completely shifts the narrative away from mere survival. This isn't just about resting more or recovering from burnout so you can go back to working harder.
No, it's bigger than that.
It is about actively making room for your unique gifts and your specific individual purpose. Time and energy are finite, non-renewable resources. Every single time you reject an energy-draining distraction, you are effectively saying a massive, resounding yes to your own potential.
You are creating a void, but it's an incredibly beautiful void.
Mhm.
It's the blank canvas where your actual life can finally happen.
Beautifully put.
Which brings us to the weekly challenge that Pretorius lays out for the reader and that we are officially passing on to you.
The stakes for this challenge are low, but the potential impact on your daily life is incredibly high.
Definitely. Sometime this week, find just one opportunity to say no. It does not have to be to your boss on a career-defining presentation.
Start small.
Yeah. It can be a minor favor. It can be that dreaded, obligatory social outing you've been losing sleep over. It could be joining a committee you have absolutely no interest in. Just use the pause.
Yeah.
Evaluate.
And then use the script.
Right. Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to take that on right now. Say it, and then step back and observe what happens.
And what you will observe, as the text promises, is that the world absolutely will not stop spinning.
This guy will not fall.
Exactly. You will still be liked by the people who matter, you will be respected for having boundaries, and most importantly, you will have fiercely protected your own energy.
To recap this deep dive, we've taken a hard look at our hustle culture and completely debunked the myth of the easy.
We certainly did.
We've exposed guilt for what it really is, a liar and a relic of social survival that actually ruins quality connection by building resentment. We've learned the tactical neurological power of the pause to overcome our people-pleasing reflexes, and we have that bulletproof script ready to go.
It's all about practice now.
And we've discovered that by doing less, we aren't being selfish. We are actually gathering the energy to shine so much more in the areas that truly matter.
As you navigate your calendar this week, remember the core truth from this material. You are not a machine built to run efficiently on someone else's schedule.
No, you're not.
You are a human being. You are fundamentally deserving of peace, of rest, and of the absolute freedom to choose your own path without apologizing for it.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Now, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to mull over. Something that wasn't explicitly in our source text, but builds directly off of it.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
We talked a lot today about Anne Lamott's brilliant idea that no is a complete sentence. But consider this. If no is the complete sentence that finally clears your desk and buys back your afternoon, what is the paragraph you're going to write with that time?
Are you going to use that reclaimed space to author your own story, to build your own dream? Or are you just going to sit there, staring at a blank page, quietly waiting for someone else's next request to give you direction? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Practice your no this week. We'll see you next time.